All right, folks, this is happening right now. We are living the movie The Interstellar Visitor 3I Atlas has entered perfect alignment, and suddenly NASA, the same NASA that's supposed to be shut down, just moved. That's right. The agency has broken its cosmic nap by creating a brand new international alert network dedicated entirely to observing 3I Atlas. They basically pressed the space emergency button. Wait a second, weren't they closed? Exactly. Yet somehow, yesterday, October 21st at 21:08, NASA woke up from its peaceful shutdown sleep to assemble a full scale monitoring system. If this isn't strange enough, remember the sharpest high rise images of the comet's close flyby with Mars were never released. Apparently, we don't have the high resolution data, they said, because NASA is, you guessed it, closed. But then, boom, this alert goes live. Run for the hills if something happens right in the middle of the shutdown. And listen, this alignment is not a small event. The high rise camera aboard the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter was expected to capture Atlas in exquisite detail during the early October flyby, October 2nd and 3rd to be exact. But no pictures were ever made public. The excuse? We didn't have clearance. Operations were limited. Fast forward to today, out of nowhere, NASA reactivated its network as if it just remembered rent was due in the cosmic calendar. Meanwhile, our community telescopes have been busy. Over in Portugal, Tiago from Dobsonian Power pointed his scope exactly at Atlas's official coordinates and caught something wild. A strange circular glow where the object should be. And after image enhancement, it looks weirdly structured. If that really is Atlas, it resembles some previous artistic AI renders we've seen, but clearer. It's unnerving how close reality is getting to sci fi posters. Now, the European Space Agency did drop a few images, but only the blurry ones. The kind where you can't tell if you're looking at a comet or a smudge on your phone. How convenient. As of today, 3 at Atlas is entering the field of view of the Lascaux Solar Observatory. So maybe, just maybe, we'll finally see something real. So here's where the situation flips from strange to downright movie script level. NASA didn't just reactivate operations. They flicked on something rarely used, the International Asteroid Warning Network, together with the ESA and the UN affiliated International Astronomical Union. You know, the same system designed to warn the world if a chunk of space rock was about to ruin everyone's weekend. Only this time, they're using it for 3I Atlas. That's right. The official document from the Minor Planet Center confirms a joint observation campaign to track Atlas's position and motion for refinement of astrometric data. In plain English, they activated a planetary defense network just to watch an interstellar visitor that may not be a threat at all. Cue the X Files theme. And what's their excuse? A training exercise. Sure, just a casual global drill involving NASA, ESA, and the UN during a shutdown. Because that's how budget cuts work, right? The document asks observatories worldwide to collect data from November 27th through January 27th, when the object emerges from behind the sun. Observers have until November 7th to register. Somehow the computers are online for this, but not for public images. Go figure. Public reaction has been a mix of finally and oh. People keep asking how a shutdown agency can launch a worldwide campaign on a Sunday night. Even ESA staff look puzzled in press interviews. But the paperwork is real. You can literally see the NASA, ESA, and UN logos sharing a page like a weird group project that nobody planned. Now let's connect the dots. Why would an asteroid impact response team care about a comet that's definitely not on collision course? Simple. There's a possibility, not confirmed, but whispered in private calls, that Atlas could perform an unexpected maneuver near perihelion, its closest approach to the Sun on October 29th. That's the exact scenario Harvard's Avi Loeb speculated about, a deceleration or trajectory change triggered by solar energy. If something that large changes course on its own, the math explodes. Meanwhile, ESA astronomers say the object already shows unstable outgassing jets facing toward the sun instead of away, basically the cosmic version of pressing the brake pedal. That's why data from the high rise camera would be so valuable. But you saw what they released. lower resolution images that look like someone shot them through a lasagna tray. So the community is taking matters into its own hands. Amateur astronomers from Portugal to Australia have joined the campaign, uploading images to open servers. Some of them show a round, bright structure with a strange front jet that doesn't match any known comet shape. The internet calls it Atlas with a face, while ESA calls it processing error. Classic. NASA insists this is routine testing, not a threat, but if you read between the lines of their own memo, they mention planetary coordination against unexpected object behavior. Unexpected. That's not your average space weather language. And scientists are split. Plasma physicist John Brandenburg went on record saying the object's behavior fits what he calls a Maskarovka operation, a Russian term for deliberate deception, a kind of cosmic misdirection. He compares it to the decoy paratroopers of World War II, a show to hide a real mission. Will it turn out true? Probably not, but it's the most entertaining theory we've heard all week. Meanwhile, Harvard's Avi Loeb, never afraid of ruining a faculty meeting, keeps saying Atlas could be a technological artifact. Critics roll their eyes. The public listens anyway. He's earned that right. After all, this is the guy who worked with Stephen Hawking and still takes time to answer emails from YouTubers. So while NASA and ESA argue about who has the better budget, citizens of Earth are outside tonight looking up because today was the October 21st alignment of Earth, Sun, and 3i Atlas. Coincidence or timing worthy of a movie? You decide. Next verse in this unscheduled space opera, the perihelion on October 29th, when the sun throws gigawatts of energy straight at our visitor. If something shifts, well, we'll be watching together. Now, this is where the story escalates from NASA woke up to someone cue the soundtrack. Because while everyone was busy arguing about whether the international alert meant a credible threat, the sun decided to drop its own surprise cameo, a massive solar flare right behind the alignment with 3i Atlas. You can't script timing like this. The last time the sun ejected plasma that intense was during the Carrington-like AR 3599 eruption, and now it's repeating the act right as an interstellar visitor swings by. Coincidence or cosmic comedy? During October 21's alignment, the LOSCO C3 camera caught a gargantuan coronal ejection shooting sideways, a literal space bazooka, with Atlas perfectly framed near the event's outer edge. Flare not heading toward Earth, a collective sigh of relief. But the magnitude alone has researchers biting their nails because bursts like that can fry electronics and alter comet trajectories. The ESA team's spectral analysis hinted at short radiation spikes bouncing off Atlas's coma like echoes in a tin can. That's the moment chat rooms exploded. Did we just energetically ping it accidentally? While officials downplayed everything as coincidence, amateur astronomers were streaming live, and viewers witnessed what looked like a faint circular puff around the comet expanding minutes after the flare. Was that solar impact vapor or Atlas reacting? Nobody knows, but the subreddit r/space detectives hit 1 million members in an afternoon. Meanwhile, Tiago from Dobsonian Power, yes, the same legend from Portugal, uploaded raw telescope footage showing a bright dot with a front-facing jet instead of a trailing tail. Think cosmic Pac-Man trying to inhale sunlight. Image processing tools enhanced contrast until a clear circular core popped out. If this is Atlas, it's defying comet biology, wrote one NASA analyst. If it's not Atlas, we need to find out what we just photographed. ESA gently suggested sensor artifacts. Right. The same artifacts that keep pointing at the same coordinates provided by NASA. Even ESA scientists on X, former Twitter, are tweeting cryptic eyes emojis under each other's posts. Welcome to 2025 science communication. Then another curveball. Harvard plasma physicist Dr. Horace Drew tweeted that the object's circular shape and front jet might represent an energy shield or deflector field, aligning toward solar radiation. Before you laugh, remember this is the guy behind decades of NASA mission data. He's not some random Redditor with a filter pack. NASA's official stance remains. We have no evidence of artificial behavior. But notice, they didn't say there is no artificial behavior, just that they lack proof yet. Language matters. By October 29th, The world will be watching as 3I Atlas hits perihelion, its closest approach to the sun and the moment when any technological components would absorb maximum energy for possible maneuvers. That's why Loeb and company keep saying if it does something, this is the time. Still, let's contextualize the chaos. NASA wakes up amid shutdown, the UN joins for an exercise, the sun launches a flare big enough to toast Mercury, and observers in 3 continents film a round object with a forward facing plume. Hollywood screenwriters would tone this down for realism. And then the meteor showers join the party, the Orionids, peaking right after the alignment, no moon to block the sky. If you trust symbology, it's the universe throwing sparkles on cue. Viewers from every hemisphere are going outside tonight not just to see shooting stars, but to point fingers at the dark spot where Atlas hides. For once, the internet's chaotic energy feels in sync with actual astronomy. So, what comes next? The alert network stays active until January, meaning someone in NASA expects ongoing developments. Will the object fluctuate again? Will those missing high rise images finally see sunlight? Or will Atlas just slide back into silence, the ultimate mic drop from deep space? Whatever happens, one thing is undeniable: this is no ordinary visitor. It's forcing science to move faster, forcing governments to cooperate, and forcing everyone to look up from their screens, except you keep watching till the end, obviously. Because whether 3i Atlas is natural, engineered, or something beyond those labels, its real mission might already be complete, making an entire planet hungry for answers again. October 29th, 2025. The day everyone had circled on their calendars or scribbled on coffee cups between tweets finally arrived. The moment 3i Atlas reached perihelion, its closest pass to the sun, astronomers around the world tuned in like it was the cosmic Super Bowl. Telescopes were humming, people live streaming from their balconies, and NASA's official broadcast chat was moving faster than a solar flare on espresso. At 9:41 Universal Time Coordinated, Atlas entered the LOSCO C2 cameras field, a tiny point gliding past the sun's white disk. Everyone held their breath because this was the moment when the object should either flare like every other comet or disintegrate into dust. Guess what it did instead? None of the above. Atlas just kept glowing evenly, calmly, like a lighthouse that refuses to blink. Temperature, luminosity, trajectory, steady as an engine on cruise control. Scientists call it thermal coherence. The internet calls it unsettling. Then the anomaly counter went off again. Ground receivers from Australia to Chile detected a pulse at 1,420 megahertz, the hydrogen line. 3 pulses, each exactly 142 seconds apart. We couldn't make this up if we tried. The timing hit like a punchline to a cosmic joke no one knew we were in on. Is that a response to the flare? Someone whispered on a live feed. Another replied, or a check in? NASA and ESA released a joint statement within hours, using the word unconfirmed 7 times. Translation: it's real, and we have no idea why. By evening, Avi Loeb tweeted, "This is not noise." CNN ran a headline that read, "Comet says hi, scientist speechless." Kimmel made a monologue about NASA ghosting the aliens again. Welcome to modern astrophysics, half lab data, half memes. But behind the laughs was unease. Amateur spectra posted online showed Atlas changing color subtly greenish to amber during each pulse. The pattern repeated 4 cycles, then stopped. ESA's Renata Voss called it the most ordered disorder we've ever seen. NASA's public affairs team uploaded only 4 frames from HiRise. The fifth? Under review. Of course it is. Meanwhile, the sun kept exploding. Another flare burst from a hidden region, the same spot as last week's Carrington-sized eruption. LOSCO's feed shows a massive stream shooting sideways just as Atlas passed beneath. Visually, it looked like a bazooka that missed by a few inches. The timing, though, frighteningly perfect. Dr. Brandenburg posted, if Atlas were responding to solar activity, this would be its cue. His followers called it the solar handshake. Elsewhere, the Maskarovka theory got an upgrade. Researchers noticed that 2 new objects, tiny tail companions, appeared in the same orbit hours after the pulses. Debris? Clones? Probes? Choose your adventure. Officially, they're fragments. Unofficially, they're fuel for every headline writer on Earth. Then came the curveball. Atlas's signal flux job showed a drop at exact sun center, like it cut power for 12 minutes, then resumed without losing position. Think of a car turning off the engine to coast, Loeb said. Whatever this is, it knows how to drift. Twitter's top trend, hashtag Comet Tokyo Drift. By nightfall, the amateurs scored again. Tiago's live stream captured a low contrast shot that, after AI enhancement, revealed a ring like halo around the object. Circular, faint, too symmetrical for a gas cloud. He jokingly named it Atlas's shield. Hours later, an ESA technician confirmed possible interference rings. He looked like he hadn't slept in days when he said it. And right as the internet declared victory, Atlas did something else. It dimmed to zero. Gone. Every instrument lost it simultaneously: Mars orbiters, solar and heliospheric observatory, ground arrays. It was as if someone unplugged a cosmic light switch. 5 hours later, LOSCO logged a faint glow where it shouldn't be, below the ecliptic off trajectory. The kind of reappearance that makes scientists drop their coffee. NASA's final report of the day: temporary loss of contact, observation resumed. The translation feels close to "we blinked and it moved." Now everyone waits for the post perihelion window, because if Atlas really altered path or velocity, we're not just tracking a rock. We're watching an intentional maneuver. As Avi Loeb told us in our interview, the moment we design machines that travel to other stars, we'll be doing exactly what Atlas is doing right now. Maybe we're not first, just next. It's been 72 hours since 3I Atlas's eerie dim out during perihelion, and just when the world began cooling down, the universe cranked the suspense knob again. The signal came back. At 2:14 Universal Time, coordinated on November 1st, deep space antennas in Australia and Canary Islands caught a new burst at 1,420 megahertz. That same hydrogen line frequency that's become the signature melody of this cosmic soap opera. Except this time, it wasn't just a triple ping. The data pattern showed a staggered sequence: short, short, long, pause, reversal. Almost a mirror of the original October signals. Atlas was echoing itself. NASA servers lit up and then crashed. Thousands of logs went public for 20 minutes before everything vanished behind firewalls. By then, half the internet had screenshots. Forum threads read like thrillers. Data was real, then gone. Atlas is still transmitting. Each screenshot showed distinct frequency lines at harmonics of 1420, meaning whoever or whatever made the signal was doubling and tripling the tone, as if tuning a cosmic instrument to be heard over noise. ESA released an official statement that was basically a shrug. We are reviewing possible data artifacts. Translation: we have no clue what this is, but we need a week to sound calm about it. Meanwhile, a small lab in Finland cross-checked the raw signal and found timing variations too regular for random interference. They called it deliberate entropy management, the kind of phrase that makes Reddit explode and professors blink. Across the planet, people were glued to live feeds again. Every space YouTuber was streaming. One Brazilian channel, our new friends from Dobsonian Power, got 500,000 viewers as they aimed their telescopes and watched a tiny dot flare back to life. They called it Atlas 2.0 on screen. The chat erupted. Is it sending Morse? Are we in a movie? Yes, and the universe is the director. Soon after the signal's return, minor data leaks hit forums inside the scientific archive channels. Anonymous users, the ones with random planet names as handles, posted spectral charts that matched ESA's live log format perfectly. Among them was a line labeled interference source, astrometric drift, non-solar. That three-word tag was enough to send the internet into meltdown mode. If true, the signal originated from something behind Atlas, not Atlas itself. Cue the phrase trailing transmitter. Within hours, Loeb stepped in again with a paper drafted so fast you'd think he has a warp drive keyboard. He suggested that 3I Atlas might not be the messenger. It could be the beacon's mirror, a reflective relay translating signals from elsewhere through hydrogen frequency coupling. Basically, we've been listening to a celestial router. Harvard review process still pending. The internet approves. Meanwhile, the Maskarovka crew is having a field day. Dr. Brandenburg posted that with multiple cometary alignments, Atlas, Lemon, and Swan all near Earth Sun lineup, we might be witnessing a mapped formation event. He basically said, what if someone is using comets as disguised relay posts? Which sounds crazy until you remember Atlas keeps defying every rule of celestial motion we teach in high school. Governments are starting to notice too. Insiders leaked that NASA quietly activated its Deep Sky Lockdown Protocol, a temporary restriction on open relay streams to prevent misinterpretation. As usual, the restriction only made people hungrier for answers. If you want a lesson in viral marketing, just watch how a space agency tries to hide data. And here's something curious. Since the shutdown technically ended, some workers reported their NASA logins pre authenticated for new Atlas folders they'd never accessed before. Every file tagged exercise underscore IAWN extended. Extended? Wasn't this supposed to be a drill? The public started asking again, why build a global alert network for a comet, stage an exercise during a shutdown, and then keep going once it's over? Either it's the longest fire drill in history, or it's the real thing under a new name. While officials compose non answers, citizens are observing. Atlas has reappeared, fainter but present, moving slightly off predicted course, just enough to make mathematicians reload their simulation software. If the trajectory holds, the object will head toward Jupiter's magnetic plane by mid 2026, perhaps right into the Juno probe's path. Rumor has it internal emails call that potential encounter Echo 1. So, what is 3i Atlas now? An artifact? A natural marvel caught in cosmic coincidences? Or the most elaborate ping pong match between stars and scientists ever recorded? No matter the answer, one truth remains. It has our attention, and once curiosity is lit, you can't extinguish it.